Miso Robotics Series E. Now they've already raised 40 million, Miso Robotics, I believe, in their Series C and D. Sorry, no, it's 50 million through Series C and D. And they're looking to raise 40 million in this round because they've got like ridiculous product demand from some of the biggest companies in the world. So how could they do this? I mean, firstly, let's answer the question, do I think this is possible? 100% I believe it's possible. Why? They have 20,000 investors on the books. And if on average, they invest $2,000, $2,000, that'll be 40 million. What's the minimum they can invest is 1,000. So the minimum they'll raise if every one of their 20,000 investors invest is 20 million. And some people might invest more than that. So if we average it out to 2,000, then that will raise 40 million. They're thrilled to open up Series E, Mike Bell, the CEO, said. And they've got 15,000 from this, but I know that it's gone up to 20,000. Something else has come out for Miso Robotics. I'm going to check out their Twitter. I think it's important to follow brands that you invest in on the social media platforms, because you can learn so much from this. And it's asking me to log in, so it may kick me out. We'll have a look at this video a bit later in the video, so stick around and look at this. Little kid has made this Flippy Lego. He's only 9. I think that's really cool. Anyway, look at this. So this is just out recently, and thank you to one of my subscribers, or one of my viewers at least, for giving me the heads up that they've extended the Series E round. So what they're giving is a 10% bonus equity offer. What that means is if you invest $2,500, you get $250 extra for free in shares. I think this is really interesting. I think that you don't normally see this with shares, a company doing this. I think they just want to attract as much capital as they can, I imagine. They might be foreseeing a squeeze in venture and angel fundraising, and they just want to get as much money as they can now and kind of line their coffers. And I think that's a good idea. And I think this is a good way to do it. I also think it's an interesting company and a good company to invest in. I particularly like it. Sorry, this is a previous video. My bad. Let's just park this. Oh gosh, I hate doing stuff like this. Stick with me. Okay, so we're going to have a quick look. So if you want to have a quick look at this, if you want to invest, this is how one can do it. You just go on this website and you can reserve an investment, and you can actually invest, and you can go through a process. There's an investor brief. Let's quickly have a look at this. Is that going to go to my email? I guess it will. So there you go. This is the offer, this bonus offer they've just talked about very recently, which is good. They're doing some great things with Flippy. This is for chips, and they're doing it for burgers and all sorts. And they've got some of the biggest brands in the world, Jack in the Box, which is cool. I think that's one of the new ones. They've got 2,200 restaurants. They're a big company. Chipotle, the biggest Mexican restaurant company in the world. Got 3,000 locations. They want to boost it to 7,000 or 8,000. And they're partnering with Miso. Yeah, it's just incredible. I'm not going to go through this. I've got loads of videos on why I think Miso is great, and I've personally invested, a decent amount of my investable cash into Miso, so I do like it. Interesting about Buffalo Wild Wings, I was actually an investor in them when they were listed. I thought they were going to do so well, and they did do very well, but then they were bought out, which is frustrating. Anyway, it's nice to see that Flippy 2 Wings is being used at Buffalo Wild Wings. That's cool. Okay, so they've extended this Series E, so I think that's a really good and interesting thing. So if you're interested in investing in Miso Robotics, then now could be a good time to do it. This isn't my advice. This is just my opinion. They've got some really cool products. If we think about it, they've got Sippy, which is going to help automate drinks. So it's an automatic beverage dispenser and sealer. So if you think about that in terms of drive-throughs, and maybe even if they do it with coffee in coffee shops. How much time does it take for a barista to like make a coffee, you know, or a hot chocolate? And if this can do it, it could really revolutionize the world of both drive-throughs and I think coffee shops, maybe even pubs as well, pubs and bars with an automatic, you know, beer pint puller. You know, if it did that and it always pulled the perfect pint, then that could be a big deal as well. It's got this kind of AI computer vision to make sure that each piece of you know, of the meal that one is cooking is cooked right. You know, it's good safety standards, computer vision, machine learning. It's easy to install and it's got amazing analytics. You know, I think this is a company that is on the up and up. We've got a wings offering, you know, they've got the burger offering, and they've got Chipotle interested, and Chipotle have, I think they're working on something with guacamole maybe, but you never know. Maybe Miso can work on a burrito roller, automated burrito maker potentially. I don't know. There's all sorts it can make. So I really like Miso. This isn't my advice, it's just my opinion. I've personally invested quite a lot. Let's have a quick look at the circular. Wow, this is detailed. I'm not going to look at this. Maybe we'll in another video. I think I've already looked at this potentially. I'll look at it very briefly. You know, these are the main products. Flippy 2, you know, which allows frying and grilling and other cooking, basically in burger restaurants, I think. Cook Right is the AI that makes sure it's cooked to, you know, to good standard. The wings offering is for chicken wings and things like that, and Sippy's for drinks. So they've already got an amazing portfolio of products. The market is obviously huge. I think they're one of the leading markets. Yeah, they're looking to raise a lot of money. I'm not going to look at all of this. If you want to, you can always freeze the screen and you can go back and read it, or you can take a look at the SEC circular there. I think it's a legit company. There will be some people saying, oh, you get diluted, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, you might get diluted, but if you invest early on in these kinds of companies, then yeah, you may go from having like 0.1% to having 0.1%, but your investment can still go up 10, 100, 1,000 times. So I don't really care if the actual percentage of my offering goes down. If it goes up 100 times, it doesn't bother me. That's just my personal opinion. It's got some information about competitors. So Creator, robotic burger maker, in assembly line fashion, has raised 18 mil. It's quite big. It's saying it's not ideal to sell to existing restaurants because it only makes one style of burger. Spice has raised 25 million. That creates vegetable-centric bowls. Lab to Fab, owned by Middleby. I used to invest in Middleby, and I was actually wondering whether they were going to get into this space. So that's interesting that they are going into that space. That's one to be careful about, because those Middleby have very deep pockets. Yeah, I think they're the biggest in the world in terms of ovens and restaurant kitchen, back-end kitchen stuff. They make, I think they make all the Subway ovens and things like that, things they warm everything up in, all that kind of jazz. Right, so they're doing restaurant and bar management platforms. Okay, that's interesting. So they're going to automate both like front of house and back of house using augmented reality. So that's interesting. Now we can maybe partner with Middleby. It doesn't sound like they're going to be direct competitors. They may even be kind of frenemies. I know that, you know, I work for Meta. I don't know if you can see my WhatsApp. Nice little laptop, the Apple one. And we partner with Google. I have day-to-day conversations with Twitter, Google, and all the platforms. Yeah, we've worked with Google, and Google are helping us with my campaigns for WhatsApp. I do marketing for WhatsApp for business. Anyway, Piastro Robotic Pizza, they're only raised 12. Picnic has raised 38. Robotic food system designed to automate pizza. So, the pizza space, you know, they're raising money, but remember that Miso has raised 50 million to date, and after this round, it could easily go to 100 million. So they're raising much faster than these companies, and they're also going. If you look at the products, they're going much broader. You know, they've got the burger chains, they've got the Cook Right computer vision, they've got wings, and they've got drinks already. If they wanted to, they could probably go into pizzas, I imagine, if they wanted to. And they've already got some great customers, White Castle, and Inspire Brands with 32,000 locations. I think these are the guys, these are the guys that bought my old investment, the 4 Wild Wings. Anyway, they've got 32,000, and Miso have got a partnership with these guys. So, even if Miso only end up in 10% of these stores, that's still 3,200 stores. And just to give you an example, I think it's about 3K a month. So 3K, so let's do 36,000, which would be a year times, this is just one restaurant chain, right? I mean, not one restaurant chain, but it's just, it's one brand. I mean, I don't even know how many zeros that is. That's $108 million a year of revenue. And that's 10%. And if we did 20% of that company's, it's 216. What about if we did half of their store count, roughly half, $650 million a year. Now, let's just imagine that a lot of that is cost, but because it's software as a service, once they've delivered, it's probably not that much cost. Let's just say it's like they have let's say they have 70% margin, right? So they can make 653 million just on half of the stores of profit a year, and it's just really quickly, this doesn't take that long, right? It's times it by 20x valuation. So that's 9 billion, by the way. So 9 billion would be 20x the valuation currently, roughly. And that's just off half of the store count from Inspire Brands. You've also got you've got the Chipotles that are going to go up to 7,000 restaurants. And what about if these companies want a Sippy and a Wings and Cook-Right and Flippy? There are some companies that do burgers and wings, and there are companies that want wings and drinks, and they want to make sure their computer vision, their food is cooked right. What about then? What about if they go with 2 products? So instead of 9 billion, you double that, and you could say it's 18 billion or 20 billion. You've got a 40 bagger. Now, I'm not saying, it really depends on if they're able to execute on this. But if you look at it, like, they've got some amazing prototypes, and they're already in like some of these stores. Yeah, they don't have thousands of them. They may have only hundreds, but they are working on their supply chain. And actually, I've just invested in one of their supply chain manufacturers, which is called Ali. I'll quickly show you that. If you haven't heard about these guys, then they're ex-Miso Robotics staff, and they're really at the cutting edge, and they're very new, and they only have a very small team. So this guy is the founder. He's a kind of mechatronics and engineering whiz. They did a webinar recently. They've also extended their fundraising. I'm not going to go through it now. I'll probably make another video about this, but you can see that they are actually going to be providing the arms for Miso Robotics. So that can kind of solve some of the Miso Robotics supply challenges, because when you have 10,000 restaurants wanting one of these cool machines, you do need to ramp up your manufacturing and logistics pretty quickly. And Ali is going to be one of those companies. So I think Miso Robotics is probably going to own this space, but I think it's going to take them a couple of years to own this space. I don't think they're going to suddenly be in 10,000 restaurants. I think it's going to ramp up gradually. In kind of jumps in levels. I think they'll probably be in, like, I don't know, 100 stores in 2022, maybe 500 stores in 2023, then maybe 1,000 stores 2024, and then maybe 5,000 stores in 2025. So I see this as being a relatively long-term investment. I think, if we talk about this, 20 bagger or 40 bagger, I think it could take 10 years. But I believe in it, and it can also go to zero. These investments are very high risk, investing in angel investments. Although Miso has grown its valuation, it doesn't mean that it's immune to going bust. but it just, for me, it feels like it's going well. You know, they've got these amazing prototypes. They've got the orders from the businesses, or they're signing contracts and partnerships with businesses. And I imagine they're going to be doing, you know, kind of test and learn with these companies, and they're not going with anyone else. You know, it'd have to fail spectacularly for these companies to switch and say they'll go with someone else. So, so I think it'll be fine, and it looks like the company management are very good as well. So, but yeah, do take a look at the offering. Check out my other videos on Miso as well, and I've got videos on Ali, because Ali's only valued, I think, at 10 million, by the way, and Miso is valued at 500 million, so 50x Ali. And by the way, if Miso does well, it's very likely that Ali will do as well as will do very, very well as well. It's not certain, just because you know, if Ali isn't able to produce, you know, the arms in a good enough capacity, then Miso could go to another manufacturer, of course, or another design firm. But they look like they're going to work in partnership, you know. And Ali has got some just incredible technology. I think they're at the cutting edge of this technology, and they're only going to get better. So that's why I've actually invested in Ali as well as Miso, and I don't have enough money this month to go into Miso Robotics. I think it's 30 days left to invest in Miso Robotics. I'm talking the 4th of September 2022. There's actually about 30 days to invest in Ali as well. So if you're looking at a slightly more high risk investment earlier on, then Ali might be that. You know, it's only valued about 10 million, something like that. And if it supports Miso, they've got orders for 30 million right now. So if the margin, I don't know, is small at the beginning, let's say it's just 10%, you know, then they're still going to be valued quite highly. They can be valued at 30 or 40 million once they just service that initial Miso Robotics order. So, you know, I'd be very surprised if Ali, you know, I think it's got a very high percentage or probability of like 10xing in the next kind of 2 to 3 years, maybe 3 years from now, potentially. It could easily go bust as well, but you know, you don't get many opportunities where you get a cool startup that has an order for $30 million when, you know, it's got basically no revenue. So that gives me quite a lot of confidence that this company is going to do really well. So yeah, just to explain to my audience, I've put in on this one, and I've just got married, and that's why all the marriage charts down, and I don't have enough money to put it into Miso just yet, but I have quite a you know, high percentage of my funds in Miso. It's not a huge amount. I'm not talking 6 figures here, but it's still a decent amount for me. Guys, I'm going to stop sharing my screen at least, and then you can see me in full. I hope you enjoy these videos about some of the things that I invest in and follow. You can check out, I also make videos about listed equities as well. These are equities that are listed on stock markets, such as, you know, the NASDAQ or the FTSE 100 or the AIM markets in the UK. So you can check out my other in-depth videos about exciting companies. A lot of them are in the restaurant space. Actually, I seem to have zeroed in on kind of robotics and restaurants, just because it's so easy to analyze. So, you know, I'm not saying a baby could analyze it, but you know, anyone that's done GCSE or high school level maths can do this kind of stuff. Hope you enjoy these videos. I enjoy making them. Don't make any money from these, but if you want to support the channel, you can smash the like button and subscribe. Maybe tell a friend or a colleague, you know, if they're interested in learning about investing or my other topics, such as improving careers or freelancing or looking at property investment, investing in Asian investments, or learning equity investing from a private investor's perspective. You know, I'm not qualified, but I've taught myself. You know, I know a thing or two about investing. You know, picked lots of companies that have 5x or 10x over the period of my investing career. Also made some mistakes as well, so you can learn from my successes and failures on this channel. Guys, knowledge is power, especially the right kind of knowledge. Join me on this journey. Subscribe. Remember, the progress is everything. I'll see you guys in the next upcoming video. There will be some videos around. Make sure to watch those. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.